Hey, everybody. It's Tom Stimulis with True North Group, and we're here for our Tuesday Facebook Live sponsored by Virginia Small Business Development Center. So today we're going to talk about cyber insurance. And it's interesting because of the fact that a lot of people aren't really aware of it. A lot of people don't think they need it. It's something that is marketed, and it's really been marketed to a lot of the larger enterprises who have embraced it. But really, what insurance is in itself is risk transfer. Instead of, you have auto insurance, you have home insurance, you get an automobile accident or whatever, and you are transferring the risk of the costs associated with repairing that vehicle to your insurance company, and they charge you a premium to provide that and all of those numbers. But I think what's important is that small businesses in general are a little late to the game in this. It's something that maybe their current carriers don't talk about, but also because it's really not mandated. It's not like compulsory insurance. It's not like errors and omission. It's not like building insurance that you have. It's really kind of a rider or a secondary insurance. But the one thing I want people to understand is that it's really not a choice anymore. All right. If you either collect client information or collect any type of payment information or healthcare records, you're in a high risk area, and it really should be mandatory. And if it's not mandatory, you should make it mandatory. And the reason is that, there's some numbers that I kind of wanted to cover with you that, and you're not alone in this, because there's always research done and there's numbers, but really 54% of small businesses don't think they're big enough to be involved, or that they don't have anything of value. Over 28% of small businesses didn't realize that a cyber breach could cost them money. And another sad thing is another 54% of businesses don't even have a plan. But the numbers are real, and things to consider is that the average breach discovery takes at least 220 days. Now that's the average, right? So in reality, it could take you almost a year to realize that you're even breached. And, you hear about this, companies are, $6.6 million, $10 million, but what we care about is small and medium businesses. But the average cost for small and medium businesses to go from incident detection to full recovery, where you're back in order and all that stuff, is between $84,000 and $148,000. Now, that's why you need cyber insurance, because if you are doing what you're supposed to do, you're doing your due diligence, accidents happen, things happen, and you need to have some way to recover from this event. Even, like I said, it may be your fault. It may be you weren't doing what we've been telling you to do for the last year about encrypting your database, or encrypting your databases or your computers, or using a VPN. Besides that, even if you are doing everything that you can possibly do, you can still be subject to a data breach. And the problem is if you don't have cyber insurance, another really sobering statistic is that 60% of small businesses that are impacted or affected by a data breach go bankrupt within 6 months. Now, I don't know about you, but I've put a lot of effort and time into my business, and I know all of you do the same thing. The worst thing that could happen to us is that, a data breach that's outside of our capabilities, to even handle sometimes, will go and impact our ability. We have to go out of business. All right. We put our life into this. We work really hard, whether it's a restaurant or whether it's a medical facility or whatever. It really doesn't matter. It's your business. You shouldn't have to go bankrupt because you didn't plan accordingly. And so it's really important that you do get cyber insurance. Now, you don't have to wait. A lot of businesses only talk to their agents once a year during renewal. And that's just how businesses go. You have an agent, you find this plan that you like, it's providing you the coverage that you want. You may have never even had to use it, and you don't really think about it. But you can add cyber insurance at any time. And now there are a couple, and there are separate policies, there are addendums, there is a rider. You really just have to talk to your agent or your broker to find out what is best suited for you. And also there's all different types of plans. A lot of it can do with the number of records that you have. So an average record cost. Now what they'll do is they take all of these data breaches. So like that data breach that I told you, between 84 and 148,000 for small businesses. What they do is then they break it down into the cost per record, because we all have more than one or two customers. Some of our doctors may have 1,000 active patients, and then they may have another 1,000 or 2,000 that are archived. All right. Well, what the number is, it's $146 to go from detection to recovery per record. Now that could include whether you have to do credit monitoring, or you have to provide some type of services to your clients, or you maybe even have to pay a fine if you're HIPAA related, or you have a regulatory organization on that. So it's 146. So I'm just going to ask each of you to figure out how many customers you have, multiply it by 146. All right. And if that's a sizable number, then I would highly recommend that you want to talk to your broker about getting cyber insurance. And you're not too small. Criminals don't care about the size of your organization. They care about the data. They care about your clients' data, your patients' data. They want their social security numbers, their bank information, their personal information, their address, their emails, because maybe one of your patients is a senior executive at a large organization. And if they can get some of that information, they might be able to use that information to get into that larger organization. So you definitely don't want to be a stepping stone, and you don't want to necessarily have to go out of business, because you know what, your reputation is going to be damaged regardless of whether it's a breach or ransomware. And ransomware is actually even worse, because ransomware, they'll give you your information back. They're not even going to necessarily steal it. They're just going to hold it hostage until you pay a ransom to get that back. And that could be $5,000, $10,000, $150,000. It really depends on the size of your organization and the data that you have. Now, cyber insurance can also help mitigate that as well. I can't say that they're going to pay the entire ransom. They may. It depends on your plan and the premiums that you determine. But regardless, you know what? And people want to argue with me about this. All right. Look, I have never had a fire in my kitchen, but I still have a fire extinguisher. All right. And it's there for the chance that I have, because it's far better to have that fire extinguisher and not need it than to need a fire extinguisher and not have it. And I'm willing to bet that many of you in your offices and your buildings have never experienced a fire, but you all have fire extinguishers ready in case. That's really what cyber insurance is. It's there to use in the event that you have a need for it. No different than anything else. And the beauty of this, though, is that because of the things that we talk about here at the SBDC on a weekly basis and the classes that we do, we can actually reduce the risk of you actually having to use that. So that it's not just, you get your insurance and you forget it. There are requirements that your insurance companies want you to maintain. You have to have a plan. You have to do your due diligence. You can't just not patch your systems. You can't just, surf the open Wi-Fi without a problem. Don't worry about your database. You have to run your business like a business. You have to protect that data like it's yours. But in the event that you are doing everything that you can and you still get breached, that's where the cyber insurance is there to help you recover, resolve the issue, and then go back to taking care of your clients. So everyone needs it. All right. I have it for myself in the event, and I don't have a lot of clients. I have companies that are my clients. I have their data that I work with. If that data was lost due to a situation of my negligence, that's one thing. But then if it's just lost, I'm doing everything I can. I need to be able to take care of my clients. So think about it. Reach out to your agents. If you have any additional questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. I'll take a look at them. And if not, if you want to set up an appointment with me or any of one of our other counselors, you can always do that. Go through the SBDC. We will have, we'll see you next week for another Facebook Live. And like I said, just definitely consider it. And I think cyber insurance is something that all businesses should have. Have a great Tuesday, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.